My name is Cassidy Roark, and I'll be presenting on the ICF model, what it is, and an example. So to start, the ICF model specifically stands for International Classification of Functioning Disability in Health. What it is basically it's a tool used to ensure the understanding of a patient's injuries, important daily factors of their lives, and how they correlate with one another and how they affect one another to provide the best care for the patient that we can. So this is a general layout of what the ICF model will look like. At the top, it has the health condition. So this is what's actually wrong with them, whether it's a torn ACL, a dislocation, a fracture, a sprain, anything like that. Here we have body functions and structures, and specifically the impairments that the health condition leads to. So what it gets in the way of, the activities that'll prevent the kid from participating in, so the limitations. This is more general, like day-to-day life. And then participation is the restriction that it has on the patient socially, in a sport, in school, at work, whatever the case may be. And then here we have environmental factors. That's things that will affect the care of the patient, such as their health insurance status, family, where they come from, um, the environment that they grew up in, things like that, that'll affect one, the patient's mindset, but also how much help they can get and when, because if they don't have health insurance, that's something to take account of. And then personal factors is things like the general ID of the patient, male, female, age, things like that. So for my example, I figured we could consider a 22-year-old senior male baseball player who tore his rotator cuff. So for the ICF model, obviously the health condition at the top says rotator cuff tear, and then the body functions and structures being impaired would be decreased arm flexion, decreased arm abduction, decreased internal and external rotation, and decreased strength overall. The activity that it could impair would be things like reaching above their head, like showering, washing their hair, things like that they would need help with. Even if it's a really bad tear, even a complete tear, it could be as simple as they can't reach their arm up to brush their teeth. And then in this patient's case, pitching and throwing are off the table. Participation would be he's unable to compete in his baseball season, or at least part of the baseball season, depending on how bad the tear would be. Environmental factors for this patient is he comes from a single parent household, but he has health insurance, and he's a second string pitcher in his senior season, which is something to factor in whenever we think about how quickly he wants to get back to the game, how quickly his coaches would want him to get back to the game, things like that. And then obviously personal factors would be he's a 22-year-old male, playing baseball. And that's it. To figure out how to stop the recording now.